Nos vamos ahora para Cisjordania, este territorio compartido en donde también se presentan problemas precisamente como consecuencia de la guerra, de la invasión, para muchos el genocidio de Gaza. Nos atiende Jonathan Fowler, él es de la UNRWA, esa es la Oficina de Refugiados de la ONU en Jerusalén. Ana, para Jonathan la primera pregunta es, desde el acto terrorista de Hamás en territorio israelí el 7 de octubre a hoy, ¿cuántos palestinos han sido asesinados por Israel en Cisjordania?
Good morning, Jonathan. Thank you very much for your time today at W Radio.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
So after the terrorist attack portrayed by Hamas in Israel on October 7th and what has happened after, how many Palestinians have been killed, assassinated by Israel in the West Bank in the past 7 months, we could say?
Yes, if you're asking specifically about the West Bank, then the issue there is particularly serious. I mean, it's one of the highest levels of violence in the West Bank in recorded history. I mean, since we've basically been gathering records since the mid-2000s. But since the 7th of October through to the 6th of May, the number of Palestinians killed in the West Bank is 479, and that includes at least 116 children. But I also want to stress, of course, that the situation in the Gaza Strip vastly outstrips what's happening in the West Bank. Of course, there the level of violence, we're talking about close to 35,000 Palestinians have been killed and over 78,000 injured. And this is without precedent in decades in this region.
Lo que está pasando en Cisjordania nos dice que no tiene precedentes porque es el registro de la cifra de violencia más alta en la historia desde que están contando estos actos a mediados de los años 2000. Nos dice que el problema es bastante serio porque nos dice que ya van desde el 7 de octubre 479 personas palestinos asesinados, 116 de ellos niños, y la situación en la Franja de Gaza, como ya bien hemos registrado, es mucho peor. 35.000 palestinos muertos, 38.000 heridos, así que esto no tiene precedentes.
Ana, estamos hablando de, como usted bien lo llama, se conoce internacionalmente West Bank, que es Cisjordania. Es una franja donde está Jerusalén, una franja dentro de Israel. La pregunta, Ana, es, estos casi 500 palestinos, incluyendo niños, ¿los mata Israel porque los considera terroristas?
Of these 500 Palestinians that we are speaking about that have been killed in the West Bank, do you know if Israel has killed them because they consider them terrorists? We do know that on these 500 Palestinians, there's kids included. So would you say that they have been killed because they're considered terrorists by Israel?
I absolutely cannot speak for the motivations behind the killing of these Palestinian civilians in the West Bank. I mean, what we do see is we see a pattern of attacks, notably by Israeli settlers in the West Bank, with a shocking degree of impunity. So attacks on Palestinians, for example, working in agriculture, those kind of people, but also during incursions into Palestine refugee camps in the West Bank, we see we see that sort of level of death and destruction. But I absolutely, as UNRWA, I cannot comment on the motivations for the operations by Israeli security forces, nor why individuals have been killed or indeed injured by Israeli forces.
No puede comentar sobre las motivaciones que tienen las fuerzas israelíes para atacar a estas personas palestinas en Cisjordania. Nos dice que lo que están viendo son ataques que se están llevando a cabo por parte de israelíes con impunidad en Cisjordania, ataques que se ven a los palestinos agricultores, por ejemplo. También se ven incursiones en campos de refugiados dentro de Cisjordania. Entonces es un nivel de muerte y destrucción nunca antes visto, pero sobre las motivaciones no puede comentar.
¿Nos puede contar cómo vivió el ataque a la sede de la UNRWA, ese incendio al edificio de Naciones Unidas que entiendo usted estaba dentro?
Can you share with us how did you live that attack towards the UNRWA headquarters? We believe you were inside the building when the attack happened, when the fire happened.
Yes, absolutely. Just to back up a little bit, I'll set the arson attacks in context, because over recent months, we have long faced criticism, which we don't agree with, of course, as UNRWA, but we do believe in freedom of expression, of course. We don't agree with misinformation about us, but let's just say that, you know, we have had protesters gathering outside our compound since the beginning of the war in Gaza. I know initially, you know, these protesters were there. It was quite well policed. There were barriers put up by the police. The protesters were giving out leaflets. But gradually we've seen kind of increasingly sharp rhetoric towards UNRWA. And we've seen that the behavior of protesters outside our compound has started to deteriorate. Now, this has moved into, you know, spitting at the vehicles of our staff and the individuals, you know, intimidation, hitting the vehicles, using toy weapons, in fact, to threaten the staff if they've been driving in and out. And, in fact, presence of armed men outside the compound in civilian clothing. So very, very troubling. But then we started to move into a situation where we saw regular occurrences of young people gathering outside the compound in the evening, throwing stones at the compound, throwing stones at staff, at our vehicles, dangerous, of course. And then on Tuesday last week, one of the regular demonstrations, and these are called by one of the deputy mayors of Jerusalem, so by an elected local official. One of the demonstrations, it finally deteriorated into outright vandalism, you know, throwing stones at our staff, security staff in the compound, but actually damaging our gates, smashing the glass, smashing the plexiglass. And then subsequent to that, you know, and the actions of the police during that demonstration were, I mean, we would say that the police were not very quick to clear the crowd, and so we did pose questions. Now, I was in the compound on Thursday last week when suddenly we started to smell smoke rather, and we heard the fire alarm ringing, and a couple of colleagues rushed out to see what was going on, including our director of operations for the West Bank and East Jerusalem, and we started to fight the fire with our regular fire extinguishers and with, you know, a small hose that we have. And while we were trying to put out the fire, there were youths throwing stones at us to try to keep us away from stopping the fire. Now, the fire service came, extinguished the fire, went away. The police arrived, but they didn't arrive quickly. The same evening, there was a second arson attack outside our compound, and this was potentially much more dangerous. The first one didn't reach our buildings. The second one, we have an internal...
Let me translate that really quickly, please. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
Pues nos dice inicialmente que ellos han recibido muchas críticas. La Agencia de Naciones Unidas para los Refugiados de Palestina en Oriente Próximo ha recibido muchas críticas con las cuales no está de acuerdo, pero pues creen en la libertad de expresión y pues no están de acuerdo con la desinformación sobre ellos. A pesar de eso, pues aceptan lo que están diciendo sobre ellos, y a partir de esto se han visto ciertas protestas afuera de las instalaciones de la UNRWA. Desde el comienzo de la guerra en Gaza se han visto estas, digamos, protestas, estas manifestaciones que han ido escalando a que le tiren rocas, por ejemplo, a sus funcionarios, a sus miembros de seguridad, a los carros, a los vehículos que entran y salen de las instalaciones de la UNRWA. Nos dice que esto escaló el jueves de la semana pasada a el fuego o el incendio que presenciaron. Nos dice que empezaron a oler humo de un momento a otro. Cuando trataban de apagar este incendio, pues les tiraban rocas para que no pudieran hacerlo. Denuncian que la reacción de la policía fue bastante lenta y han estado tratando de hacer vandalismo en contra de sus instalaciones, dañando los vidrios, las rejas, y pues eso es la situación que están viviendo ahí. Nos dice que esa misma noche del jueves en la que él estaba ahí, vivieron un segundo ataque aún más peligroso. Así que eso fue, digamos, la atmósfera y la situación que se presentó en ese incendio en sus instalaciones.
Sí, Ana, me gustaría que le preguntaras al señor Fowler. Yo he estado en esa zona, en alguna de estas protestas, y es una zona bastante inhóspita, pero no deja de ser una zona que forma parte de Jerusalén, con lo cual, en lo que respecto a estos incidentes, lo que sí me gustaría preguntarle es si la UNRWA ha pedido protección a la policía de Israel o a las fuerzas de seguridad, y bueno, si hay alguna respuesta, o en caso omiso es, o sea, porque no les interesa, claro.
We wonder if you guys at UNRWA have requested any help from the Israeli authorities, the police, to try and protect you guys. Because even though this is it's a complex zone where we are saying these attacks happen, but it's still a part of Jerusalem. So the question, have you guys asked for protection from the Israeli police or authorities?
Well, absolutely. In the wake of the fire last Thursday, our Commissioner General, Philippe Lazzarini, made a public call for respect for diplomatic law, basically diplomatic rules and practices, which is that the United Nations compound is basically very similar to a foreign embassy, in that diplomatic law and custom requires that be protected by the local authorities. Now, in the specific location of East Jerusalem, Israel is not considered by under international law as the host government, but they are host authorities in the sense of being the occupying power. So they bear a responsibility. It is incumbent upon them to ensure that our compound is protected, which is why Philippe Lazzarini made this solemn call for that to be, for our status to be protected. We had supportive United Nations member states that made the same call, saying that the attack on our compound was an outrage. But we also referred to the local authorities, saying, look, there's an issue here, that because, as I mentioned, the second fire that we had last Thursday was very close to our internal petrol station. Now, if that petrol station had caught fire and exploded, that would have damaged the entire surrounding community. And this is it's a settler community around our compound. So that would have actually involved, a serious explosion and potential fire and death of the Israelis that live around our compound. Yes. Now, this issue cannot continue. Sadly, we have seen repeat incidents over recent days, exactly the same. There have been maybe a couple of arrests, but the main concern here is that the reaction from the local politician, who is one of the people who has been calling for these demonstrations, wasn't, hey, folks, you need to calm down, this is dangerous. He actually said, more of the same. Keep doing what you do. We're coming for your compound. We're coming for your other premises.
Yes.
And that is extremely worrying, because inflammatory language leads to fire.
Pues nos responde que absolutamente han pedido esta protección de las autoridades locales. Nos dice que Philippe Lazzarini hizo un llamado público a que pues respeten estas instalaciones de las Naciones Unidas, que debe ser tratada como una embajada extranjera, y eso requiere que la autoridad local los proteja. Nos dice que en Jerusalén del Este, en esa locación en la que están, pues Israel no es oficialmente como el gobierno, pero al ser, digamos, ese país que está ocupando este territorio, tiene la responsabilidad de protegerlos, y por eso Philippe Lazzarini hizo ese llamado precisamente a que se protejan las instalaciones de la UNRWA en Jerusalén. Nos dice que esto pues podría escalar a algo mucho peor. Incluso ese incendio del jueves pasado pudo haber afectado a las comunidades aledañas y a los israelíes que están cerca de ellos, porque se pudo haber provocado una explosión. Entonces pues él responde que sí deberían haber una mayor protección, porque el político local, de hecho, que está a cargo de la zona, nos dice que está haciendo ese llamado a que las personas continúen con las demostraciones, con estos actos peligrosos, en vez de tratar de calmar estas protestas. Está incendiando mucho más el ambiente para que las personas sigan con este tipo de demostraciones y protestas. Well, thank you so much for being with us in W Radio, Mr. Jonathan Fowler. It's been a pleasure having you today in our show, and we're so sorry about this situation.
Very much indeed, and muchísimas gracias.